Okay guys, lean in closer, turn the lights down low, because what I'm about to tell you actually happened. 3 separate people, 3 different years, 3 different states, and every single one of them swears the exact same thing. The doll blinked when no one was looking. Before I dive in, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Trust me, after tonight, you're gonna want the next stories the second they drop, because this one still keeps me up. Let's start with Emily. Emily Harper was 26, fresh out of a bad breakup and just needed a quiet place to reset. She found this little 2-bedroom rental in Columbus, Ohio, off East Broad Street. Old brick house, built in 1912, the kind with creaky pine floors and radiators that hiss like they're telling secrets. The landlord, this sweet old lady named Mrs. Kowalski, was moving to Florida and basically threw in everything: dishes, curtains, even the furniture in the spare room. One of those things was a porcelain doll on the dresser. Victorian dress, real human hair, glassy blue eyes the size of quarters. Mrs. Kowalski laughed when she saw Emily staring at it. "That's Annabelle Grace. My mother bought her in 1943. Never bothered me once. Kids these days think everything old is haunted." She winked and left. First couple of weeks were fine. Emily worked from home, graphic design, so the house was quiet all day. She'd catch herself talking to the doll sometimes. Dumb stuff like, "All right, Annabelle Grace, don't judge me for eating cereal at 3 p.m. Normal, lonely person behavior. Then the little things started. One morning, Emily walked into the spare room to grab a sweater and could have sworn the doll's head was turned toward the door, like it had been watching for her. She laughed it off, fixed the head straight, but that night, around 2 a.m., she woke up thirsty. On her way to the kitchen, she passed the spare room. Door was cracked open, she always kept it shut, and in the slice of hallway light, she saw the doll facing the door again, exactly like it had been waiting. She told herself the house was settling, the dresser was uneven, whatever. She closed the door hard. A few nights later, she was on a Zoom call with her sister in California. Laptop on the kitchen table, spare room door visible in the background. Call ends, Emily shuts the laptop, and her sister texts her immediately. "Em, what the hell was that?" "What was what?" "That doll just moved, like its eyes followed me when I waved goodbye." She ran in there. The doll was facing forward, same as always, but now she was rattled. She started doing what any sane person does. She Googled it, typed in "porcelain doll blinks when alone," and laughed at herself, until she found the forums. Dozens of stories, same details, antique dolls with real eyelashes, glass eyes that reflect light weirdly, and every single owner saying the same thing: it only blinks when you're not staring straight at it. Look away for half a second, and the eyelids drop, just enough to notice in your peripheral. Look back fast, and it's frozen again. Emily decided that was bullshit. She set up her phone on the dresser, hit record, left the room and closed the door. Came back 20 minutes later, played the footage. Nothing. Just a still doll in a still room. She felt stupid. Went to bed relieved. At 3:17 a.m., her phone buzzes on the nightstand. Motion alert from the spare room camera. She forgot she even left rolling. She opens the app, heart already hammering. The feed is dark, except for the night vision glow. The doll is sitting exactly where it was, except its head is tilted about 15 degrees to the left, staring straight into the lens, and then, clear as day, the eyelids drop, slowly, deliberately, like a wink. Then the feed cuts to static. Emily screamed so loud the neighbor banged on the wall. She grabbed her keys, slept in her car until sunrise, called Mrs. Kowalski in Florida that morning. The old lady went quiet for a long time, then said, "Honey, I wasn't completely honest. My mother didn't buy that doll. She found it in the attic when we moved in 1958, wrapped in a blanket with a little note pinned to the dress. Note said, 'She only blinks when she decides you're lonely enough to need company.' I thought it was a joke. I was wrong." Emily moved out the next day. left everything, including the doll. Landlord listed the house again. New tenant lasted 9 days. That story alone would be enough, right? But it gets worse. Fast forward to 2019. Jake Morrison, 29, Army vet, moves into a duplex in Tacoma, Washington after his second tour in Afghanistan. Nightmares, insomnia, the whole package. His mom, trying to help, ships him a box of stuff from his childhood bedroom to make the place feel like home. Inside is a clown doll. Porcelain face, fabric body, orange yarn hair. Jake hated that thing when he was 5. His grandmother wanted it at a carnival in 1987 and insisted it watched over him. He texted his mom, "Why the hell did you send Bozo the nightmare clown?" She swore she didn't pack it. Whatever. He put it on a shelf in the hallway, pointed toward the wall so he didn't have to look at its painted grin. Jake's sleep schedule was trash. He'd wake up at odd hours, wander the apartment. One night he gets up for water, flips on the bathroom light, and out of the corner of his eye, he sees the clown doll facing forward now. Not turned all the way, just enough that the black button eyes are looking down the hall at him. He spun around so fast he cracked his elbow on the doorframe. Doll was still facing the wall. He told himself the shelf was loose, but then it started following him with his eyes. He'd be sitting on the couch watching TV and feel those painted dots tracking him. He'd whip his head around and the doll would be staring straight ahead again. Every time he looked away, he could sense the head rotating, millimeter by millimeter. He started testing it, would sit on the floor 10 feet away and stare at it without blinking until his eyes burned. Nothing. Looked down to his phone for 2 seconds, looked back up, and the head had moved a fraction. Always just enough that you couldn't prove it. One night, he had a PTSD episode, woke up screaming, soaked in sweat, stumbled into the hallway swinging at shadows. That's when he saw it. The clown doll was off the shelf, sitting on the floor, facing his bedroom door, arms out like it had walked there. Jake lost it, grabbed the thing, ran outside in his boxers, and threw it in the apartment complex dumpster, slammed the lid, went back inside shaking. 2 hours later, 4:46 a.m., he hears it. Soft. Thump, thump, thump. Like something small hitting the floor in rhythm. He sits up in bed, listens. It's coming from the hallway. Thump, thump, thump. Closer. He turns on the light. The clown doll is sitting right outside his bedroom door. Yarn hair soaked in dumpster juice, fabric body filthy, but the porcelain face is spotless, and it's smiling wider than it ever smiled before. Jake moved out the next morning, left the doll sitting in the hallway. Maintenance guy found it 3 days later when the new tenant complained about scratching sounds inside the walls. They never rented that unit again. Last one. This one's the worst, because it's recent. Summer 2023. Sarah Delgado, 31, single mom in Austin, Texas. Her daughter Mia is 6 and obsessed with American Girl dolls. They go to this huge estate sale off Lake Travis. Rich old lady passed away, no kids, everything must go. In the corner of the attic, they find her, an 1800s antique French bisque doll. Original kid leather body, human hair ringlets, glass paperweight eyes that look almost wet. Price tag? $30. She couldn't say no to Mia's face. They name her Lily. First few months, Lily sits on Mia's dresser and everything's adorable. Tea parties, the whole thing. Then, Mia starts waking up screaming that Lily is standing over her bed. Sarah chalks it up to nightmares. Kids imagine stuff. But then, Sarah notices Mia stopped playing with Lily entirely. Doll just sits there, collecting dust. One night, Sarah tucks Mia in, kisses her goodnight, closes the door most of the way like always. She's in the living room folding laundry when she hears Mia's voice, tiny and scared. "Mommy, Lily is looking at me funny." Sarah goes in there. Mia's sitting up in bed, sheets clutched to her chin. Lily is on the dresser exactly where she's supposed to be. "It's okay, baby. Dolls can't move." But Mia whispers, She only does it when you leave the room. Her skin crawls, but she forces a laugh, tucks Mia back in, and this time closes the bedroom door all the way. She sits on the couch, heart racing for no reason. 10 minutes later, she hears it. Soft, bare feet on hardwood, from Mia's room to the hallway. Too light to be Mia. She freezes. The footsteps stop, right outside the living room archway. Dead silence. She looks up, and Lily is standing in the doorway. Not on the floor, standing, perfectly balanced on her little leather feet, head tilted, ringlets hanging, those wet glass eyes reflecting the TV glow. Sarah screams, bolts up, runs to Mia's room. Mia's asleep. Lily is gone from the dresser. She grabs her daughter, runs out of the house, calls the police from the driveway. Cops show up, search the place, top to bottom. No doll anywhere. They leave. Sarah and Mia crashed at her sister's house for the night. Next morning, Sarah gets a text from an unknown number. Just a photo. It's her living room, taken from the exact spot where the doll had been standing the night before. In the foreground, Lily's porcelain face fills half the frame, eyes wide open, staring straight into the camera. And in the background, reflected in the dark TV screen, you can see Sarah on the couch, asleep. Caption underneath the photo reads, "She blinked. Your turn to watch." Sarah changed her number, moved 3 states away, and to this day refuses to have any doll in the house, even Barbie. So yeah, 3 stories, 3 states, 3 dolls that waited until no one was looking. And the worst part? Every single one of those dolls is still out there somewhere. Estate sales, thrift stores, attics, dumpsters, waiting for the next person, lonely enough or curious enough to bring them home. Sleep tight, guys. And whatever you do, if you ever see an old doll that looks like it's watching you, don't blink first.